Hey everybody, it's Bub. We're doing a first here at JetSwiss because every year we have, I don't know, 3 or 4, 5 different projects that involve what we would call non-JetSwiss standard airplanes. And what that really means is that we have this kind of OCD way of making sure that the aircraft we deliver to our clients the best it can be. And so this is one that just came back from its pre-purchase inspection, but we haven't had a chance to do our Summit Series standard. And what that means is again, making the airplane the best it possibly can be. I found this in my truck, so this is kind of fun. We have a laser. Beep. Oop. Poke myself. Beep. Okay, so one of the really good spots, kind of gets some rocks and chips and so forth, is right here with the wing root bearing area. You maybe can't see it on this particular airplane, but it's got some 3M guard already placed on there. That is helpful to minimize the effects of rocks and chips and so forth. But this bearing right here is typically a bearing that we address quite often with airplanes that, you know, have kind of been in the field for a while. This would be one area that we would address, and correspondingly on the starboard side of the aircraft as well. Come with me to another spot. Okay, so another area, obviously, is, you know, anything that's taking the wind or taking the rain or taking the ice and snow, etc. This area right here on the wingtip is going to receive a little bit of abuse. Got a little bit of wart and blemish right here. That's a static discharge. Static electricity and energy, after going through clouds for quite a while, will actually cause a little chip in the paint that looks like it, you know, got hit by a rock. So getting these lenses either buffed and cleared and cleaned out. A lot of times we'll end up, you can see the strobe light right here on the side. A lot of times, go ahead and cut because we got company. Jim Medlin, have you met Carly and Claire? Jim is the magician. Ooh, we should interview you. Jim is our leather and soft goods and recondition guy. He takes the original condition and it's stained, it's got pen marks, it's worn out and so forth, and he turns it into brand new. It's magical. He's one of really 2 or 3 of you that have the kind of background and training in the entire country. We're blessed to have this resource right here in Kansas City. In this project, we're gonna remove all the seats, we're gonna remove the interior, and he's gonna recondition all of it. It will look like brand new. Jim, thank you for all your great work. My gosh, this is wrapped really nice. Okay, nice sweater. Oh my gosh, really? Here it is. Merry Christmas, ho, 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 from Jimmy. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, here we are, kids. This little rascal is a rascal. So this little guy right there, those stacks, let's just say they might be beyond a condition that we can bring back to life. It's one of those things. We've had those areas, you can remove them, you can get them buffed out and so forth, but probably gonna leave those. One of the other areas, the spinner right there, of course, we can turn this into brand new looking. A lot of times we will dress the prop if it hasn't been dressed or we didn't have it dressed at the pre-purchase inspection to get it tidied up. You can tell a lot about a prop, by the way, a little sidebar on how the airplane was flown. It looks like a bunch of hamsters chewed on it every day. These areas here, you can mess with them all you want, but you're just gonna come back with the same kind of issues. You can see kind of right here, if you come around here, Claire, you can see the Frankenstein effect, if you will, right here, and that's just because heat is coming out of this stack right here from this exhaust stack going directly into here, which is why this gets discolored over time. It's the nature of the beast. All PC-12s have it. We'll polish the spinner and get it looking good. We can polish this inlet lip, but it will get it looking nicer than it does now. Another area that sometimes we end up touching up is this vent right here for the air cycle machine. We mentioned this already as well, the wing root bearing. This one's got some war wounds a little bit. So we would have the 3M coating taken off and then have that area shot. What else do we have here? Okay, here we are with our 2013 model. It's got about 3,000 hours on it. This is all kind of before. At some point, we're gonna come back with the before and after of this. It's kind of like a home remodeling show, if you will. It has been washed, believe it or not. Just came out of an inspection at a Pilatus service center. So the boots have been dressed all along this area. If you follow this little laser here, all that gets is carbon soot from the exhaust stack, obviously. So over the course of time, that soot will eat itself into the finish of the paint, and it will start to oxidize it and look dull, etc. Our crew, they'll be here for 3 days on the airplane, and they'll go detailed over every little last square inch with a high-speed buffer to remove all that oxidation, and then they'll come back with a ceramic coat sealant and a wax after that will pop everything out, and then that'll preserve the paint moving forward. This is a 10-year-old paint job. Ironically enough, I knew this airplane when it was a baby and first born. You can blame me on the color scheme. That's one thing that I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably farther away you can see it, where it just looks kind of dull. You see how dull it is right there. It's dull. See how dull it is on the door? You can see how dull it is there. It's dull. Right, it's not shiny. That's an area that we're gonna do, kids. Okay, here we are on the starboard side of the aircraft. Like I said earlier, you're gonna have a little spot usually right here with this wingtip. Another area right here, you can see this is probably gonna need to be addressed sooner than later. You're actually getting a little bit of corrosion / rust looking, so it's exposed. That needs to be sealed up and painted and repainted and so forth. We see sometimes, and we don't see it on this one because I think we might have replaced it or buffed it out, is the recognition lights cover get really dull, kind of like an old car headlight, if you will, if you've seen that, like an old Honda or something like that. So we have a way of, we can remove those, we can refinish those and get those clear again. That's another good area to address. And then of course, the canoes here, these flap track bearings, these are easily removed. You can shoot those sometimes if they've got scars and chips on them and so forth. Not a big deal, easy to do. Ready? We're gonna go up. Kind of wrapping up the outside and areas that we like to address that will bring it back to life, because it's a beautiful aircraft. It's in really pretty good shape for the amount of how old it is and how much time it's been flying. It just needs a little bit of love. And once we do that, seal it up and preserve the paint, it'll be fantastic. But the last area I was going to call your attention to is the bullet fairing up there. If you can see that up there where I'm laser pointing. Gosh, I'm so glad that I found this in my stuff. You're going to get a lot of wounds and scars up there. Again, another area that's easy to just remove that bullet fairing. We can remove it here in our facility, take it to another facility, have the paint and have it shot. So it's not super, super expensive by flying the airplane several hundred miles or whatever to get it addressed. We're here in Kansas. We've got great facilities very, very close by that can address it and make it look really, really good. So that's it for the outside. This is a Don Peterson original, by the way. Let's go inside because, again, this is a 10-year-old aircraft with 3,000 hours on it. We found a little bit of interesting about the kind of 2013, 2014 model year. Kind of have some issues with discoloration in the upper sidewall and the headliner. Finish of the wood will crack. This has got a matte finish. It doesn't have a gloss finish, so it doesn't kind of show itself as much. But why don't we come in here and I'll take a peek at what we're talking about. You may not be able to see it, but we'll try. All right, so here we are on the inside. First thing, happens a lot, this little booger right here. This one drives me crazy. So normal shade looks great, start to roll it up and it gets all boogered up like that. You might get someone that says, a shop that says, oh, we gotta replace that. It's easy to replace. Well, it's not easy. You gotta take the interior out and the upper sidewalls. But at the end of the day, this is an easy at-home DIY, do-it-yourself. It's an easy do-it-yourselfer. I'm not gonna tell you the tricks, but you can address it. Most guys will know what it is, but we'll get this and we'll address it so it properly accordions up and so forth like that. We've got some discoloration here, but generally speaking, everything you see in the upper sidewall and the headliner at one point was white and now it's yellow. And what that is that's the adhesive behind here that holds it on the panel itself. It's bleeding through. So we'll take this and we'll get it refinished and reconditioned so it looks like brand new. In addition to that, we'll come and look at like the wood, and we'll get the wood finished. We can remove all the wood and have it redone. This is kind of dull and it will look like brand new as well. If there's any leather like this, we can get that re-glued and so forth. The seats will get redone. Here's a great example. I don't know if you can come over to that chair, Claire, and you can see. This is supposed to be white, but right next to it, you can see the difference in the tones. This one is really bad. We've seen this a lot actually lately for, you know, the 10-year-old airplanes, 2013, 2014 model years. We've seen this particular issue. So we'll try to address that as well. So everything's consistent. We'll bring back the interior of the aircraft to as close to looking new as we can. The proverbial pen marks. Oh my gosh, what do you do with those? Everybody's got a magic cocktail to get rid of them. I'm here to tell you, whatever you have as your magic way of getting rid of it, it never fully does. The only way to address it is to completely strip it down and recondition it and re-dye that area or replace the whole panel. So there's your nice blue pen marks, and we'll address that as well. There'll be little cracks that you can see. Wood finish right here, guys. It's not smooth. You know, in order to do it right, you would want to remove it and get it refinished. I don't know. It just depends. If you're gonna go and kind of fix up the house, if you will, I don't think I would stop with not finishing those types of things. It's been lived in, but it can be completely brought back. Just a matter of some time and a little bit of money to get it done. But I'll use the house analogy. Remodeling your kitchen and then selling your house 3 or 4 years later, that's a good investment. Those are good dollars spent. You're gonna get the best return on the value of your home by doing that. And I'm not saying it's dollar for dollar in an airplane, but it certainly is, because we know that 80% of the folks that are gonna buy this airplane at some point in the future, they want something that's nice. They want something that doesn't look weathered, that is a cosmetically pleasing condition, etc., that has the kind of color schemes. We know that we spend a few dollars here and we make it and bring it up to what we would like to call a Summit Series standard. You'll be proud to sit in it. You'll be proud to show your friends. You won't think that it's a 10-year-old airplane with 3,000 hours on it. So more to come. Okay, so that's our review of before, and we'll get back to you later with the after effects of bringing an airplane to a JetSwiss standard. And it's one of the differentiators that makes us who we are. If you've got any questions, you want to talk about any of the things that you've seen in this video or other topic matters regarding Pilatus in general, give us a call. Go to jetswiss.com, fill out a form. Thanks for stopping by.